I am a huge fan of interactive dies, and I recently purchased Lawn Fawn's Magic Iris die set, and I had so much fun designing Slimline holiday and celebration cards with it for this video, which is part of my Stretching Your Supplies video series. Hello, and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and I know that all of us need to find ways to stretch our crafty dollars by finding different ways to use the same die set. I have created 4 cards for different celebrations and holidays, and I'm sharing them in this video. So this is the Lawn Fawn Magic Iris die set. And these are the cards that I've created. Now kids love interactive cards. And just look at what happens when this arrow is pulled and another monster appears in the center of the magic iris. So we have monstrous birthday wishes, happy birthday, and when the special kid of any ages gets it, they will turn this tab and another monster appears. Isn't that fun? Now all the cards that I'm showing you in this video fit into a number 10 or business size envelopes, which are 4 1/8 by 9 1/2. And so any of the Slimline cards just have to fit into that. I found some cool colored ones, and I have a link to them in the description box. And you can see that each of these will be sent in a colorful Slimline envelope. I love the Slimline format for my cards because I'm able to fit on dies and sentiments as well as the Lawn Fawn Magic Iris die on the front of the card. There's lots of room to be creative. So this baby card has a really cute baby dresser and accessories with a new die from Frantic Stamper. And then when the person gets it in the mail, they'll turn this and get a message, "It's a boy." Obviously we could say it's a girl too, or welcome baby. This is a Tailored Expressions sentiment strip. Welcome little one, it's a boy. And a really cute dresser on there. And once again we have the Magic Iris opening for a fun message inside. I was thinking ahead to the holidays, and I thought a magic iris would be cute as a jack-o'-lantern for a special child. So I created this one, and I made a pumpkin out of oval dies over the magic iris, and when it's opened you see the jack-o'-lantern face, and of course it closes and opens. And there's a spider and boogie nights on that, and then a cool orange envelope. I decided that a magic iris would be really cool to do with a double magic iris. So I did that for this card. I used some really pretty pattern paper from Crafter's Companion on the background, and the pattern continues from the rings to the background, and then we have Christmas wishes, and then when this is open we are wishing them joy and peace, and then on the inside love. This is a Quietfire Suzanne Cannon design with the ornament and love, and these two are from Tim Holtz Sizzix, and of course all the links are in the description box. This is a Sue Wilson die. So my Christmas wishes for you are joy and peace. I learned a few lessons when I was designing these cards, and I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to show you, of course, on how to put the rings together. But if you can see on this one, I used white for those rings inside, and it is visible a little bit on the sides there. So I'm going to add another little circle die there to avoid seeing any of the white on the edges. There is an add-on scallop die from Lawn Fawn that solves that issue, but I couldn't afford the add-on dies too. So I'm going to show you how to add a little border with circle dies. On this one I used a scalloped die that I had. Just add just a little bit to the edge, not to go over the sides, but to solve that problem. And this is another example where I just did just another little circle there, and then you don't see those edges on there, and I will show you that on my Christmas card. I also learned to use a middleweight cardstock, not a real heavy. I used 110-pound cardstock on all the layers on one of the cards, and it didn't want to move as well. And I also had a little difficulty using the stitched inner circle from the die set because it was exactly the same size as what cuts out of the center, which makes sense. But then when I tried to put it down, sometimes it had these magic iris parts didn't want to move as well. So on this card, I just cut it down just a little bit with a slightly smaller scalloped die, and then that solved that problem for me. You may not have that, but those are some of the tips that I learned. So here's how to create a Lawn Fawn magic iris. You need some good strong ScorTape, and then I'm also going to use my Gina K Designs dots roller, which is my favorite. You need 3 of the rings, and into one of those 3 you're going to cut this wonky kind of spaceship type die, right? So you one of the 3 you use this, and that adds these openings and those little marks there, which I will show you what you do with those. As I talked about, on the top one, I wanted the pattern paper to continue from the background into the top, and I also added on a just slightly larger circle die with the center cut out, and I just used some circle dies that I had in my stash for that. And I think when I make this one, you won't see the outside edges of the apparatus. So I am doing that. You need 3 of the sausage dies cut, and these dies, these pieces will not show, but these will. So I decided to make them into a sparkly glittery white paper. You need 3 of these pieces, stabilizers or connector pieces, and I'll show you how those are used. And then you need 1 of this tab thing with the arrow piece cut, and I did that out of navy and attached a glittery white arrow and ready for that thing. And then you're going to need some mini glue dots, and I have those ready as well. So again, I watched both the Lawn Fawn and Jennifer McGuire's videos, and they were very well done. And I got some tips from Jennifer's that I am showing in this video. You're going to take the sausage piece and you're going to put it right through there, and then you're going to use your fingers and line it up perfectly with the curve of the circle and the curve of the sausage piece. And then once you get that, you're going to take a piece, now this is a suggestion, take a piece of temporary tape, not real strong, but these, I'm using my purple tape from Thermoweb, and that will hold that in place. Then you're going to take the second one and repeat that. And again, you just use your fingers and have it fit into the curve perfectly, and then attach, hold it in place with a piece of temporary tape. And here's the third one. And you just put it through that little hole, and when it is in place, you can keep it there with a piece of temporary tape. Now I'm going to take mini glue dots, and I'm going to put them, there's these little X's on there, tells you exactly where to attach them, or where to put them, the mini glue dots. And then I'm going to take one of the rings and I'm going to attach it. I like to line up the center as good as I can, and then push down on those 3 glue dots to hold that one in place. Then we're going to flip it over, and on the back of this die, I'm sorry, of the card piece, it adds these dotted lines. So there are 3 of them, and they're not as easy to see on the navy, but there are 3 areas that has those dotted lines. And Jennifer just suggested taking a pen or something and just drawing a line through the center of those dots down to the edge. So maybe you can see that a little bit better. There are these dotted areas that you're aiming for, and you just put a line through that. And then you're going to take some good strong ScorTape and apply that to that line, all 3 of them. Remove the cover. And then we're going to take these connector pieces, or stabilizers, I think that Lawn Fawn calls them, and you use that tape, and there's a curved edge there, and you're going to line the curved edge of this up with the curved edge of the circle, and attach all 3 of these. I like to use a much lighter weight paper for this. You have to fold it over, it's not scored, and you want to fold it over lightly, or not too tight. So I have found that I'm liking using a little bit lighter weight, and I had some extra of that paper sitting. Now you're going to turn it over, and you'll see that those 3 pieces form a Y, okay? And so you're going to have the Y, the end facing you, and then you're going to take your tab, the arrow piece, and apply a couple rows of the good strong ScorTape. And then down here on this bottom part of the Y, you're going to attach this, and you're going to line it up so that the curved edge matches again. And they said to form like a V here between this piece and this piece. So line it up, have it next to that, making like a V there. Then you're going to put adhesive on these pieces here. And take the last ring and put it in loosely, and you don't attach it to anything. And then you want to take these pieces here and fold them up, but you want it to be somewhat loosely. You don't want it real tight. So just push it down and make sure it's not real tight. Jennifer said, you know, you get kind of up close to that stitch line, but not all the way there. And just fold it up, and again, not too tight. So now you can remove your temporary tape. And you're going to take these little funny tab things and turn and fold them up. You can use a bone folder. I like to do that to encourage them to stay up. But you're not attaching them with anything. And then your magic iris is basically complete. It's kind of hard to do this until it's attached, but I'm just going to show you that your magic iris should now work. I have chosen again to put on a top piece here. We're going to add some more not temporary, this is the good strong permanent tape. And attach them just by putting strong tape on the 3 places here. And I have started my double magic iris card. You can see that that wasn't hard to do. When you make a double one, of course, you're cutting out 6 rings and 6 sausages, but I thought it was a really neat way to do it. So I've started this card. I completed one, and it's ready to go. And what I did was I cut the ring right out of the background paper so that when I attach this, I kind of want the pattern from the back to continue, so you can see this tree and this tree continue through to the front. That was kind of the plan, so I'm going to try to pay attention to that when I attach this. Now we have to have this closed when we attach it, because you do want to make sure that when you put this in an envelope in the closed position that it's going to fit. This card was basically the maximum size that you could have to fit. It's 4 wide by 9 1/4 long, and that's about the maximum you can have to get into a number 10 envelope. But of course, I had my heart set on having a double iris and the words, so I did it that way. So we're going to take tape off of here. And with it closed, I want this one to come from the bottom up. Attach it into that circle. Make sure it's working. And when it's open, I've cut piece, and again, this is a little bit smaller scalloped die, just so it fits in there, it lays nice and doesn't interfere with the movement. And then we're going to take this, and when you're attaching this top one, you can just put adhesive all over the place. That's not going to interfere with your movement of your magic iris. Okay, so our tree, look right? I think so. It's hard to tell if it's lined up with that background, but I kind of wanted it to continue from the background into the front. And we have, oh, I thought we needed some snowflakes. And of course, I have a rule that if you put snowflakes on, you really have to have gems, right? Of course, that's silly, but it just seemed like that really was a nice touch. So these are the micro glue dots for this one. What did we ever do without glue dots? I really don't know. But I guess I like all my adhesives, but these are really perfect for adding a little something like a snowflake. And then I'm going to add some of my favorite Gina Marie Designs gems. I like that they're sparkly and they come in different sizes. And I use them all the time. So we have our Christmas Wishes Slimline Double Magic Iris card done. They would get the card and they would turn and they would see that my Christmas wishes are joy and peace and love. I had so much fun designing with this innovative die set and hope my cards have inspired you to try some Magic Iris cards of your own. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.